Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to challenge you on one of the statements that you made in the tail end of the campaign in the midterms.
Here we go.
This is former CNN White House Correspondent Abilio Acosta. You, however, likely know this freshly minted female intern beater by his fake Americanized, but nobody think too hard about that, nickname, Jim. As the son of a Cuban communist operative, immigrant, Raul Castro's favorite rent-a-bidet quickly buried his birth name on the Soetoro family plot and pursued attention so gropily that he quickly caught the left eye of and was subsequently hired by the global leaders of loving foreign operatives' attention and fake shit, CNN. The saga of the evolving publicity whoredom and once-in-a-geological era level retardation of Abilio Acosta deserves proper exposure and analysis, so this video will be part 1 of a serial documentary on just who exactly Abilio Acosta is and why he so ardently demands that President Donald Trump provide copious amounts of male reproductive organs for quote-unquote Jim's sucking pleasure. This video will cover the heroic, yes that's sarcasm, final episode of the cancelled after one season children's program that is the tragicomic life and tard-pandering career of Abilio Jim Acosta, after which we will delve more deeply into the weird and very probably infected details of discount George Clooney's comings and goings and comings with more videos. But for now, and as is always the recommended method of beginning an extended project, we're going to set the details aside, which should give us ample time to locate the appropriate antibiotics and just have some fun watching pretend champion of women's rights and failure enthusiast Jim Acosta finally fall victim to the infinite fame appetite of his inner Abilio.
In the midterms.
Here we go.
If you don't mind, Mr. President,
come on.
This is President Donald Trump. In being a very stable genius whose mind operates at a pace that borderline cannot handle the slow stumbling syllables of the best journalist CNN was able to put forward, he impatiently encourages Abilio Acosta to hurry the f*** up and ask an actual f***ing question. Though persons to whom the label not retarded can be applied understand Trump's impatience is the direct result of choices made exclusively by Jim Acosta, like, screaming at Kim Jong-un when he's signing a peace treaty. CNN slave corps, audience, just kidding, I meant slave corps, is currently eating up the narrative that for no reason whatsoever Trump is flipping out over Abilio Acosta's benign and well-intentioned question. We can, of course, pay this no never mind, because if the children of slaves so enjoy voting for the children of slave owners while watching a network currently being sued by hundreds of minority employees for racial discrimination, but definitely don't look that up, who are we to deny them their right to their own suicide? You see, I differ from what I perceive to be the average conservative in that I quite like watching liberals twerking on burning piles of their own money in a desperate sacrificial dance of appeasement to their plantation owners. If you have any understanding whatsoever of how utterly President Trump manipulates the liberal subspecies, you will see that he too derives much pleasure from awarding them a lifetime supply of Jim Jones' proprietary Kool-Aid blend. But even President Donald Trump has his limits, and just one day after the 2018 midterm elections, we learned that that limit is physically assaulting a young woman just trying to do her job.
This caravan was an invasion. As you know, Mr. President,
I consider it to be an invasion.
As you know, Mr. President, the caravan was not an invasion.
As the official selection of the media's ugliest people look on, except for the ancient obese she-moose who would not be denied a selfie, Abilio Acosta flawlessly exemplifies how to just say a bunch of liberal talking points under the pretense of asking a question. Donald Trump, of course, gets this, which is why he looks like he's internally debating whether a sitting president would be prosecuted for a murder on live television.
It's a group of migrants moving up from Central America towards the border.
Hey, remember that time Jim Acosta said he wanted to ask a question?
With the U.S.
Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it.
Trump does.
Why did you characterize it as such?
Because I consider it an invasion. You and I have a difference of opinion.
But do you think that you demonized immigrants in this election
No, not
to
at
try
all.
to keep...
I want them to come into the country, but they have to come in legally. They have to come in, Jim, through a process. I want it to be a process, and I want people to come in, and we need the people.
Your campaign.
Wait.
After enduring multiple random statements, multiple questions, and the general cacophonous unbearability of Jim Acosta's learning disability cadence, Donald Trump is forced to parent CNN's high school newspaper talent through the answer to his own f***ing question.
You know why we need the people, don't you? Because we have hundreds of companies moving in. We need the people.
But your campaign had an ad showing migrants climbing over walls and so on.
That's true. But they weren't actors.
They're not going to be doing that.
They weren't actors. Well, no, it's true. Do you think they were actors? They weren't actors. They didn't come from Hollywood.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
These were people, this was an actual, it happened a few days ago. And
Quick time out to wonder where this smoke show dime piece supermodel reporter suddenly came from. I wonder who she works for. Anyway.
They're hundreds of miles away, though. They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's not an invasion.
Headmaster Baphomet must have been on sabbatical because if I'm understanding Abilio correctly, which I may not be, I don't speak retard, he's making the argument that the definition of invasion is predicated on the arbitrary distance of the invading forces. This is like saying that the Nazis invading Belgium was not part of an invasion into France. In fact, if you think about it, this is categorically the exact argument liberals use to justify abortion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country, you run CNN,
right.
And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
I can't imagine a more wonderful notion than the fact that CNN viewers are so devoid of self-awareness that they actually don't know there are more people watching Yogi Bear reruns than there are people who agree with their politics.
If I may ask one other question, Mr. President, if I may ask one other question.
And now, at the denouement of the spectacular, and I do not mean that in a good way, last stand of Abilio Acosta, we see upwards of 10 other pretend journalists thirsty for a chance to defecate out of their mouths, and we learn that the only physically attractive person in the entire press pool actually works for Donald Trump. The young female intern is now going to, and entirely contrary to the fake news narrative, try to take Abilio Acosta's microphone gently, twice, before having to switch arms like yet another parent whose infant just vomited and shit themselves at the same time, which coincidentally is exactly what Jim Acosta is doing. But Jim, Abilio, who gives a shit because now his last name is Perfect Acosta, prefers to project refuse out of his heavily used orifices with a steaming hot side of inappropriate contact with young women.
Are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President,
That's enough.
I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am.
Pardon me, ma'am, I'm using physical force to prevent you from doing your job. Wait, I want to ask more questions. Oh, you're actually letting me? Here, have some more monologue.
Mr. President,
that's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question, if I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have
I'm not concerned about anything with the Russian
indictments
investigation because it's a hoax. That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
In one of the most incredible mushroom stamps in modern history, President Donald Trump removes all doubt about who's actually important by silently acting like he was ending the press conference. Several hilarious things happen at once here. First, the rest of the press corps, who are normally so enthralled by the exotic odors emanating from the Acosta's phallus storage unit that their noses audition for 127 hours to Ass Canyon, began to panic that they won't get their turnsies. Second, upon sensing the tide turning against him, the Acosta instantly transforms from erect badass to flaccid loser and surrenders his multi-tool to the young woman so actually badass that she takes it even after being karate chopped and just keeps on, doing her job. Third and finally, we have my new favorite moment of 2018 in which Jim Acosta, halfway through sitting down to pee, pauses to stare down the president, lasts a nanosecond, then collapses in defeat.
Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
I think that's unfair.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way. Go ahead.
That's it for today. If you enjoyed this content, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to see more of it, consider supporting this channel through one-time PayPal donations, Patreon, or by purchasing a shirt or song. I'm John Ward, and until next time, remember, you're a world champion. Don't let your memes be dreams.
This man is making me go insane. He's making me go all crazy. I'm literally shaking, baby. This man is making me make a safe space in case I gotta contain all the hate and blatant racism. I'm a mystery. Roger's chilling your head, still in your head, making animal noises. I'm a mystery. Roger's chilling your head, still in your head. Orange man bad, orange man